Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 17. Pretty sure that's right, episode number 17 of NWA Chicago, and this would be number 15 in Main Event Showcase. I don't know why I still keep saying that, but I do. So regardless, here we are, and this week we have Scott Steiner versus the big guy in the Starrcade Classic, as you are now looking at the most up-to-date bracket, as Colin Delaney defeated JT Dunn last week in a shocking upset. So the five people who have moved on so far, obviously, as you can see, are Flip Gordon, Sammy Guevara, Nick Aldis, Tyler Bate, and Colin Delaney. We have only 3 qualifying matches left, 3 first-round matches before we get into the second round, and boy, is it shaping up to be a fantastic Starrcade Classic. So without any further introductions, let's get into the show. In a pre-show bout that had Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat, the Assyrian Portal defeated Starr and Dunn in 14-12 when Amasis defeated David Starr by pinfall with an Assyrian Sacrament. They obviously had great chemistry and lifted the match. 49 for Amasis, 45 for Ophidian, and mid-30s for Starr and Dunn. Good match there. I just feel like I haven't had any of these guys on, really, with the exception, obviously, of JT Dunn, who was just on last week's show. I feel like the Assyrian Portal haven't been on in a while, and David Starr hasn't, so 44D for that match. Pretty happy with that. And now, let's start the main card. In a poor match, Toni Storm defeated Leia Vandale in 12-24 by pinfall with a strong 0. It got a 36D-. Happy with that. The match got the crowd hotter and got the show off to a strong start. 34 for Toni Storm, 31 for Leia Vandale. Very, very happy with that one. That's a good performance out of Toni Storm there. And now, after that match, Matt Stryker is shown on commentary, and he says, wow, a big win there for Toni Storm as she looks to bounce back from a tough loss against Tenille Dashwood a few weeks ago in that NWA World Women's Championship match. And speaking of the NWA World Women's Championship, tonight, Alpha Female is taking on Tessa Blanchard for the right to be the new #1 contender to that very championship. We also have an exciting high-flying bout as Matt Cross will take on Flip Gordon for the NWA World Television title. But right now, it is my pleasure to introduce the newest additions to NWA Chicago's already loaded roster. These two men have been taking the world by storm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lucha Brothers, 42D. And in a decent match, the Lucha Brothers defeated the Von Erichs in 12-19 when Phoenix defeated Marshall Von Erich by pinfall with a Garra del Phoenix. 60C for that match. Phenomenal. So ever since All In, I'd been thinking about bringing in Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. You guys knew that. And I want to bring him in so bad. There's so many great plans I have for them as a team and as singles, so it just made sense to gradually build to them coming here about, 5 weeks after All In? 4 or 5 weeks after All In? Something like that. But I thought it was just a natural thing to bring in 2 of the best guys on the indies. Kenny Omega, obviously, is someone that I wanted to bring in. There's so many main stars that I want to bring in, but I feel like Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. really mix well with the product that we have right now and the product that we're still developing. I feel like Phoenix can be a great addition to this roster, and because I have so many high flyers on this roster, he can have great matches with them. And Pentagon Jr., oh my lord, the plans I have for Pentagon Jr., just wait and see. I have a year-long plan for Pentagon Jr. almost, so I'm very excited. I hope he does not get injured. But a 72 from Pentagon Jr. and a 67 from Phoenix in their debuts is absolutely phenomenal. And you'll notice I actually put them in their debut match against the Von Erichs, and I was a little timid to do this because obviously the Von Erichs did hurt Odin's son? I think it was Odin's son that they hurt with a botch, but a 34 and a 32 from both of them. I know this will help get them a little bit more over. It gets them a huge star on the main show. This will get them some exposure, get them a little bit more over, and a 60C for the match, that's going to help them too. This is going to get some eyes on them, and hopefully they'll be able to break out of that opener state, and I can start using them consistently as a tag team. But the Lucha Brothers have burst onto the tag team scene, and now as we run down our tag division, it's looking very, very good. We have Odinson and Pero, we have the Assyrian Portal, We have the Havana Pitbulls who are starting to break out. Obviously, the Motor City Machine Guns are the tag team champions right now. Now we have the Lucha Brothers, and there could be even more tag teams on the way. We already have a whole list of tag teams in the division, as well as ones that we could create still with people on the roster. So my tag division is looking very good, but I felt like the Lucha Brothers really bolster this tag team and bolster this tag team division and bring it to a whole new level. So that's all I'll say about that segment, because I know I've been droning on about this. I'm just so happy that I have them. In about that, had Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat. Alpha Female defeated Tessa Blanchard in 15-21 by submission. 37 D- for the match. 27 for Alpha Female, or 27 for Tessa Blanchard, and a 37 for Alpha Female. Tessa Blanchard seemed off her game, which is okay. Alpha Female, I'm surprised she was actually able to carry the match here. I think this is her best performance. Obviously, everyone keeps elevating their performances, and I think this is Alpha Female's best. She earns the number 1 contendership against Tenille Dashwood, and at 37 D- for the match. I'm very happy with that. I had lukewarm expectations about this match. I actually wholeheartedly believed it would be an E+, but the fact that it was a D- just shows that these women are improving so much every week, and I'm so happy that with the core of women that I'm building my division around. So, now, after the match, Alpha Female, who apparently is not on screen for this segment, says, "Now there is no doubt, Alpha Female is the number 1 contender. Alpha Female is the next NWA World Women's Champion." 36E, happy with that segment. Obviously, Alpha Female still doesn't have super great promo game, but she puts on good matches, and she's going to face Tenille Dashwood for the World Women's Championship very soon. And now we go to our Starrcade Classic match. And as if there was any doubt, in about that, a great heat and decent wrestling, the big guy defeats Scott Steiner in 9:28 by pinfall with a silverback attack. 67 C+, 76 for the big guy, 37 for Scott Steiner. Let's be real here. The big guy was always going to beat Scott Steiner. There was no chance. And this may be the last time that we see Scott Steiner on NWA television, as this was the last appearance on his contract, and I'm not sure if I'm going to re-sign him. He is a mentor to one of the Von Erichs, I believe, so I might keep him around in just a backstage personality role so he can continue to mentor, I think it's Marshall Von Erich that he's the mentor of. But without further ado, next segment. The big guy grabs a microphone and he says, "Was this some kind of joke? Giving me some frail old man as a first-round opponent in the Starrcade Classic? Scott Steiner is a waste of my time and a waste of my talent. It's booking like this that gives me serious doubts on Billy Corgan's ability to run a wrestling promotion. The people don't pay to see the big guy beat up old men. These people pay to see me dominate actual competition. These people are paying to see me here because then they can brag that they saw me on the indies before I go back to WWE. I'm on the verge of leaving. You have a moneymaker and a seat seller in this ring right now, Billy. And you waste my time and my talent. I haven't lost a single match in the NWA, but I haven't had a one shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I've been here since day one of NWA Chicago. Do you think Vince McMahon would make the same mistake? Hold back his hottest wrestler? Because I know he wouldn't. So I would think long and hard about your next move, William." 37 B- for the big guy as he absolutely rips into Billy Corgan here with this promo. Fantastic. B-, 73. That gives me major hope for this show, as we've already had 2 C matches and a B- segment here as we go into the main event. It's looking pretty good. But big guy shooting here maybe on Billy Corgan and some backstage issues. Who knows? We don't have the dirt sheets to look at. Who knows? Bringing up Vince McMahon and the WWE. You know management cannot be happy about that. But now we go to the main event. Matt Cross versus Flip Gordon for the World Television title. In and about that, a decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Flip Gordon defeated Matt Cross in 9:58 by pinfall. Flip Gordon makes defense number 2 of his NWA World Television title, 51 D+. For the match, Gordon got a 47 and Cross got a 44. Cross was really off his game. I had expected this match to be a little bit better because obviously Cross was off his game, and that led to a lower match rating. This was obviously a high spots match. Most of Flip Gordon's have been, because our product requires us to have a high spots match, and I really like Flip Gordon, he wasn't tired in this one, which I'm really happy with. So apparently matches under 10 minutes, Flip Gordon can do really well. But great performance from both of them. They had a match rating that was higher than either one of their performances. I would have liked a little bit better, but the rest of this show carried the card well enough that we can have a little bit worse main event than the rest of the show, and it's still fine. And even with that said, this was a fantastic main event compared to what we've had in the past. So bravo to both of these men. And now after the match, Scarlett Bordeaux slides in the ring with Flip's championship and a microphone, and she hands the championship to Flip while she has the microphone, and she says, "It seems like everyone comes out here every week to stake their claim to the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But this humble man to my left doesn't do that. Flip Gordon is your NWA World Television Champion. He defends this title every week. But he's also in the Starrcade Classic. I think Flip is going to win. He's very talented. Hell, Flip beat Rob Van Dam in the first round of the Classic. If anyone is going to win, 43D, as she gets interrupted by the Havana Pitbulls, who run out from the crowd and attack Flip Gordon from behind. Rocky has a kendo stick in his hand, and he cracks it across the back of Flip Gordon repeatedly. He's got him on the ground. He just keeps cracking that kendo stick across the back. Reyes is again holding Bordeaux's hands behind her back. Her arms behind her back, actually. Has her arms pinned behind her back. And Rocky takes a microphone, and he says, "You thought we were done with you, Flip? You think this was all over? Ricky and I were actually content with the beating you got a few weeks ago. But this little bitch came out here and ran her mouth. So Ricky and I knew we had to come teach you this lesson a second time. And more importantly, she has to learn this lesson for herself." Romero throws the mic down, turns to Bordeaux with the kendo stick in his hand. He cocks it back. He's getting ready to swing, when all of a sudden the Assyrian Portal's music hits. They run down to the ring with chairs in their hands. Reyes and Romero flee. Amasis runs across the ring, hits the chair against the rope as it bounces back, kind of like they do. Bordeaux is visibly shaken as the show ends. Ophidian is checking on her. Amasis is checking on Flip Gordon. So the Assyrian Portal come out and make the save as the Havana Pitbulls were about to assault Scarlett Bordeaux here. They may have taken it just one step too far, and it did not look good, as they have not finished their bidding with Flip Gordon. 45D for that. Very happy with the entirety of this show. It was very good. All the things that I wanted to be really good were really good. All the things that I had kind of lower expectations for turned out to be great. Like this segment, I didn't expect it to be a solid D. I expected it to be a D-. It was based off of, selling, entertainment. So for it to get a 45D with all the people involved, I think that was great. So for the show, I think that we got a C- for the show. I'm not going to lie. It was a great show, and a C- is definitely something that's in the realm of possibility. And we got a C-, 56 C-. The show increased their popularity in 18 regions, so I feel like we're getting a little bit more consistency with our shows now, which I'm very much liking. And I feel like part of that may have to do with, first of all, me not booking as many nonsense matches that don't have any outcome to them other than just, let's get one guy over. Every match kind of means a little bit more now. Like the Toni Storm versus Leia Vandal, it wasn't huge, but it was important to get Toni Storm a win after she lost in the Women's Championship match. Obviously, the Lucha Brothers match was to get them over. Big guy put himself over, but also first round of the Starrcade Classic. Gordon and Cross showcased those two, and then it leads into the Havana Pitbulls beating him down, which leads into a possible rivalry with the Assyrian Portal and the Havana Pitbulls. So I feel like now that we're 17 episodes in, and we're starting to get all these interweaving stories going, that my show quality is improving. I'm starting to use guys on a more consistent basis, which I'm still working on figuring in my head, like, my top guys that I want to use consistently, and just consistently booking them on TV. Maybe not every week like Flip and the Havana Pitbulls have been, but every few weeks instead of these long gaps like the big guy. I think this is the big guy's first appearance on TV since All In. And he is, aside from Pentagon Jr., before Pentagon Jr., he was the top guy in my company. He was, like, when you look at the creative meeting screen, he was guy number one. and he had not been on my program in, 5 or 6 weeks. So I'm trying to get more consistency going. And I've said before that with the Starrcade Classic, I feel like it hasn't allowed me to consistently book these talents, because I feel like I shouldn't really be booking them outside of their matchups for the Starrcade Classic. But we're starting to wind down. We're not really starting to wind down. Round 1 is almost over, and round 1 was 8 matches, so that was 8 weeks. So round 2 is actually going to go a little bit faster. I think the round 2 matchups are going to take place, 2 of them on one show, 2 of them on another show, and then the semifinal matchups both happening on the same show, and then the finals a couple weeks after that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't fully worked that out yet, but I think that's kind of the plan, is to roll with that so that we can get the number 1 contender a few weeks before Starrcade instead of like a week before Starrcade. However, it may only be 2 or 3 weeks before Starrcade, as we are at the end of October here. Starrcade sits just 8 weeks away, roughly 7 to 8 weeks away, depending on how you look at it. It'll be the 8th week, so there's 7 weeks in between now and then, but it will be the 8th week. It will be probably Tuesday, week 4 of December, because I'm going to switch the date of Main Event Showcase so that there won't be a Main Event Showcase episode that week. It'll be Starrcade instead, depending on if our talent will be available on a different day. However, that is what I have to say about that. Now let's see what it got on television, because I've hogged enough of your time. Alright, so that episode, that was WWE Main Event, not NWA Main Event. That is an embarrassing blooper, but I'm going to keep that in, actually. Alright, so that episode of NWA Main Event Showcase was held, as always, in the NWA Arena in Chicago, Illinois, in front of 1,613 fans. So I feel like that episode last week was so great that it brought those extra few fans in that we broke the 1,600 mark for this show. On television, it got a .07, that is 56,130 viewers. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a while, but the capacity for the NWA Arena is 3,000 fans, so we're roughly selling out half of the arena, which makes you think maybe we should run a smaller arena, but we own the NWA Arena, so the costs of running it are a lot less. They're like 60% less, 80% less, something like that. So it's a lot more economical for us to run it. Plus, I feel like it'll be great to build the audience to that 3,000 one day, and that will just be really cool. But .07 on TV, 56,130 viewers, 56 C- overall rating. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week, which will be Tuesday, week 1 of November, for Main Event Showcase. See you there.